But late, 'twas the night before Christmas, on our top flight journey. Not a creature was stirring, not even McBurney. The lineups were hung by the paper on the wall. Would Chris Wilder play 5 or revert to back 4? It is another match preview. We welcome you as we look ahead to Sheffield United's sold-out fixture at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane versus Luton Town, of course, at 3 p.m. on Boxing Day. I don't know about you, you probably did the same as me. I looked at that lineup before we played away at Aston Villa and thought, well, stranger things have happened, largely on Netflix. But United took the lead at Villa Park through who else? Cameron Archer, and could have snatched an unlikely victory had it not been for a combination of a lot of injury time, defensive and goalkeeping indecision, and the like. 1-1, how it finished against the Villa. Chris Wilder presumably leaving out first teamers, and some of those are booking away from suspension ahead of course, the crunch fixture, which we're previewing against Luton Town. A brave call from Wilder, but let's talk about Luton. Luton can boast as a place, an airport, its famous straw hat industry, and Nadia Hussain, winner of 2015's Great British Bake Off. If you've never seen it, it's a daily battle of survival in some tough conditions where not everything looks edible. And the Bake Off is a cooking competition. Right, let's talk about the Blades team news, predicted lineup. Sheffield United, we know, long-termers out, Egan, Basham, Tom Davies. But I think maybe in this one we could see a slight shuffle of the pack. Maybe Ben Osborne will be involved. Back in training, part of the under-21s or under-23s, development squad, whatever you want to call it. Reece Norrington-Davies, but I think he'll be a few games away. Jayden Bogle picked up his 5th yellow at Villa, so he will miss this Luton match through suspension. Those much discussed players left out of the starting lineup for Villa being Anel, Hamer, Asula, all on 4 bookings for the season, so to avoid suspension, they didn't start. Or was it a case of Wilder ringing the changes for maybe some players, freelancing, not perhaps following instructions prior to Luton in that Chelsea game, as he did talk about post-Chelsea? Not sure. But they can all be involved on Boxing Day if he so chooses. Trusty is on 3 yellows, if you're interested. Now, Fan Hub. Here is where I put my lineup, my formation. I use the Fan Hub app. If you'd like to predict your lineup, just like I have, you can join the Fan Hub community with the link in the description or using the code SHE-YC5. Wes, I think Baldock will then play, and I reckon we go back 4 again. Anel, Robinson with Shiner, and Trusty. I think Souza, Hamer, Brooks, McAtee, Archer, McBurney. Can you call it a Shiner when it's on not on your eye, when it's on your head? I think you probably can. Archer, of course, scorer of our 200th Premier League goal. I had money on it being own goal, but actually own goal had to do a lot better in that Villa game and missed a decent chance. It would have been Conser, actually, a sliced clearance, which I thought, here we go again. Of course, Slimani, Larouci, stake to claim. Norwood perhaps not going to play Friday, Tuesday. But, I'll remain to be seen what actually happens with that, and I wouldn't be surprised with, well, really any lineup. In loan news, Ollie Arblaster returned to Sheffield United for treatment, but expected to be out for weeks, not months, with serious cuts to the knee and some tendon damage, which, never sounds good. I did speculate in the last preview that Arblaster would come back to United for our fitness team to assess him. Now, 'tis the season for festive football. The best way to watch it, down at your local Green King Sports pub. After all, Christmas is a time to catch up with friends, old and new. So get your pals together for some refreshing pints, delicious food, and live action of the Christmas crackers. Every fixture from TNT, Sky, and Amazon is live at Green King Sport. That means wall-to-wall action on the huge HD screens. Head to your local Green King and watch every winning goal, top bins volley, or dodgy VAR decision in an atmosphere worth sharing. Also, download the Green King Sport app and you'll receive 10% off drinks every single time there's sport on the telly. Luton Town, managed by Rob Edwards. Birthday for him on Christmas Day, playing 3-4-2-1 largely through the season. A good side. This won't be a walk in the park. And of course, a walk in the park isn't always easy. I was chased by a swan in the park when I was 6. Papped my load. I don't think any Blade will actually assume this is a guaranteed 3 points. They have an identity, Luton. Big, physical, fast players, good at set pieces. They can get it forward quickly and with purpose. They can hold the ball up when they need to at the end, seeing out a result. They've added a sprinkling of real experience and quality. Ross Barkley has worked as a signing. Andros Townsend too. Carlton Morris worries me up top. I like this Luton side. I think it's a very, very good side. I think what they've done with the recruitment has worked. I'd like to take a moment to wish Tom Lockyer, his family and friends all the best. I hope he makes a full recovery and wish him well for the future. I know many Blades will be already said that publicly. I know a lot of people have said that on social media, and of course all will be echoing that. Luton last played Newcastle at home. I'm recording this seconds after full time in that game. I mentioned how Luton are good at set pieces. We saw that against the Magpies after just 25 minutes, a Townsend header at the far post. That lineup then for that game, and it might be similar, 𝗬𝗓𝗄𝗏, Mengi, Osho, Bell, Kabori, Lokonga, Ross Barkley, Doughty, Townsend, Brown, Adebayo, and of course I've already mentioned, if involved, Carlton Morris, a player that I am fearful of, but might not be involved in this one. Now, the referee for Sheffield United versus Luton is Sam Allison. Premier League history will be made. Now, this is what the press have been saying. So I'm just reading this directly because I always post who the ref's going to be, and I chose not to focus on this particular angle of the story. But Premier League history will be made at Sheffield United versus Luton Town on Boxing Day when Sam Allison becomes the Premier League's first black referee since Uriah Rennie, of course, Sheffield's Uriah Rennie, who officiated in the competition for 11 years until 2008. Allison had a dual career. Now, this bit I do find really interesting as a match official and a firefighter before turning his attention to officiating on a full-time basis. He's 42 years old, enjoyed a successful playing career as well before turning his attention to refereeing, starting his journey with Swindon Town, Bristol City, Bournemouth, and played at Exeter City, even made a handful of appearances for England's schoolboys. Last season, he took charge of 37 games, issuing 119 yellows, 4 reds, one of which was a second yellow, and he gave 7 penalties. He has never refereed Sheffield United before, and as you'll gather from what I've said prior to that, he has never refereed in the Premier League before. Never quite sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Player connections. This is players that have played for both. Who can you think of that has played for Sheffield United and Luton Town? This is always in association with Indigo Resurrection Bar, the official pre-match bar of the Sheff United Way. Matt Spring, Kingsley Black, my mate, Martin Craney, and of course Reece Norrington-Davies. There are a few more that I can think of, but I want you to pop those in the comments. And a big shout out to our members. If you'd like to support us, click join as you watch on YouTube. Here's my score prediction. Not going to be easy. Luton really impressed me against Newcastle. 2-1 Blades. I've got to remain positive. I think it might actually be, not that we come out of the traps all guns blazing, that Luton might do that. And we can hit them on the counter because we look like a team now that can hit teams on the counter. Why not do that at home? It can be done. I'll say Blades 2-1 for a win at home on Boxing Day against Luton Town. Let me know your score prediction in the comments. And of course, Merry Christmas.